and welcome to Small Business Small Talk, a show that provides information, ideas, and encouraging entertainment to help you ride that business roller coaster and bring your big ideas to life. I'm your host, Christy Smallwood, and I want to thank you for joining us for season 1 into 2020 for Small Business Small Talk. I am super pumped. Can you just not see the excitement about my guest today? Amy and I have known each other for years. I am really excited to have this conversation because she is the marketing expert that I go to when I want to talk marketing here in the area. So we are definitely in that same vein. We have that same excitement. So buckle up, everybody. So if you can keep up with us, I want to welcome my guest, Amy Torres, with Director of Marketing, Inc. Thanks, Amy, for joining me on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to do it, Christy.
So give our listeners a little bit of background about you, because you're a business owner. You've been a business owner over and over again. So to give us a background.
Yeah, so hopefully at some point I might be termed an serial entrepreneurial. So funny enough, though, I started in marketing back in 1998 on accident. Isn't that funny? So working in the apartment industry. So I got my first taste of marketing there and followed my heart into radio. And I know that you've spent some time in radio as well. Actually, we worked at the same station, just at different times.
Yep.
So that's a little bit of how my marketing career started back in 1998. And then business ownership. Yeah. So while working in radio, I bought a day spa in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and owned it for 2.5 years and realized I'm not really a girly girl. I don't like to get my hair done. I don't like to get my nails done. I typically don't wear makeup if I don't have to. But that was a great learning experience and gave me a real heart for small business ownerships. So since then, stayed in marketing and advertising all through that time, and then started my company, Director of Marketing, back in 2016, after I was a Director of Marketing and Sales for a small local company in Louisville, Kentucky. So the company was born out of a crazy comment of maybe I should still continue to do girls marketing.
Right. Which is sometimes how the best businesses get started. Well, maybe I'll just let me do it. I'll slap my business name on it and accidentally come up with something new.
Yes, I know. So business was born in April of 2016. It took me about 90 days to incorporate. And then buckle up, I need to get this figured out again. It's been a while since I owned a business. I sold my day spa in 2006. So I had a little bit of time of not being in business ownership. And then, funny enough, my daughters have no interest in running a marketing company. So I'm like, I want them to be entrepreneurs as well. So what do I do? So I bought a healthy vending machine company.
Was it to actually invest in a new business or just to keep the kids occupied?
A little bit of both. So we hope to have something that we can leave behind for them. So I'm excited. I do both. We do marketing all day long, every day, and I love it. It's a passion. It's not a job, as I tell people. But the vending is my favorite blue-collar job, where I get to put on a pair of jeans, roll out in a ponytail and a hat, and go restock vending machines with some yummy items.
So when you say healthy vending, what does that even look like?
So we actually can vend better for you products such as your baked chips, your fat-free items, as well as whole bananas, whole apples. Mandarin oranges are a hot hit in the vending machine. And then better for you drinks like your V8, your low sugar water, flavored waters, carbonated waters, as well as your normal Big Red and Mountain Dew. Big Red's popular in my area. So we have machines that have some healthy, better for you items, as well as machines that are fully stocked with 100% better for you items. Protein bars, low in sugar, low in sodium.
Well, that's an interesting concept. That's awesome. Because I know that's been growing for you as well. So you've got things everywhere right now.
Yeah. So we're going to stop that growth and keep it at 12 machines. We started with 10, but we're going to stop at 12 for the time being. The marketing company is taking off, and we've been hiring for that as well. So try to balance both your businesses.
Yeah. So with the marketing, and we talked before we hit the record button, one of the biggest things out there right now with the situation with the COVID that we are in, and we're in that reopening stage, everybody's been asking, should I still market? What do I do about advertising? What am I supposed to do there? I mean, I know what I would say, but I want to hear it from you too. What do you tell everybody right now?
Yeah, I do tell people if they can afford to continue marketing because you don't want to give up market share. You don't want to disappear. I mean, there are people that are very loyal to the brands and companies and services that they use, but you still want to remind them that you are there. And also if you've had to pivot, right? So what is your new process? How do people buy from you? How can people interact with you? What is it like to go into your retail store or your restaurant coming up? You know, those things are all important to share and get your message out there. And it's exciting to watch small businesses that have pivoted, right? And then if they do need to cut back, what tools can they use in order to keep marketing and advertising? And there are some great free tools out there, scheduling tools, you know, Canva is a great place to create free images. Just even if you have to take your marketing in-house for the time being, just have a plan, stick to your strategy. If your strategy needs tweaks because your business has had to pivot, now's the time to get that in line and get ready for what the next few months are going to hold.
Yeah, because everything's going to change again.
Yes.
Almost every week still. I mean, we're in that. I think that's what 2020 is constant change.
Yes. It's telling us how to be better, right? And how to be more creative, right?
Yeah.
So if you try something new, this is the time to experiment. Everyone's going to be pretty forgiving.
Yes, absolutely. So with marketing though, what if somebody doesn't have a budget for marketing? What would you tell them to do first?
So if they enjoy creating their own content, you know, just post at least once or twice a week on social media assets. Your social media accounts are free. Make sure you have a business account set up depending on what your business is, but just have real conversations with people. How can you help others right now? How can you help a consumer? How can you help your customer? How can you help another business? And also, if you're in a networking group, share your story and what type of business you're looking for, and then also share the people in your group story. Tell stories. Be helpful. Be in the mindset that you want to help other people, and that can help you get through this time.
I did not hear you say share a sale at all.
No. Sales will happen if you're helping people. It's kind of a byproduct, right? I told someone at church that I'm a salesperson. She's like, oh, you're kidding me. Salespeople are slimy and gross and you're so nice. How could you ever do that? I'm like, honestly, salespeople are those people helping others solve problems. And if you're truly helping people solve problems, sales will happen. It's the byproduct of being helpful.
And I think what I've noticed in my short term, I say 10 years, the past 10 years of being a business owner, it is a matter of, are you the type of salesperson will depend on the type of business they have. So are they in for short-term gain or long-term, the longevity?
Right.
What kind of game are they playing? And I know that the best people that I've come across in sales are the ones that are in for the long game, like truly wanting to help solve those problems. They believe me when I say I can't do that right now. They're okay. They're like, well, let's figure out another way to do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get that. So what challenges do you think are the biggest things right now that we as marketers have to face?
Well, I think, again, telling the story of our businesses and our customers and what they're doing and how they're operating. And there's also a lot of people scared to go out. So helping them be creative or brainstorm ideas where they can still deliver their service or their product with people that they know are scared to go out. And I know in Kentucky, I'm in Indiana, but Kentucky is really recommending that people wear masks, right? So maybe your business has nothing to do with masks, but maybe you're educating people or pointing them in the direction to where they can find them and buy them. A lot of businesses have pivoted on producing and manufacturing masks, or maybe as a hand sanitizer issue, right? Where can they get that? How can we help people feel good about going out and working with local businesses again and buying from them?
And that's going to be a lot of things too. How do we set our message and our story in such a way that it makes people feel safe?
Mm-hmm. And inform them without scaring them, right?
Right. Yeah. So, okay. I'm one of those believers that people, buy because they want stuff. What's your thought about marketing and emotion?
Well, people are emotional buyers, right?
I mean, that's,
I think other times when you walk into a car lot, and I have a car addiction, so I try not to drive past car lots because I'll see something pretty and flashy. So you do a little bit buy on emotion, and we buy for fun. I love shoes, so I love going to shoes. I honestly will tell you, I was very sad that Payless closed. Like that was a 5 shoe day usually if I walked into a Payless store, and then I'd slowly bring them into the house, here and there. But people do buy on emotion a little bit, and also like even going to a restaurant, going out, it makes you feel good. It's fun and it's an experience, and people are looking for experiences. So how can we give them a good experience? How can we make them feel good? I know that Cluckers over in Indiana opened recently, and there's a group of guys on the news, and they had been going there since they opened every Monday as a group of guys. Now their group has shrunk a little bit because there was some of their group that did not want to go out yet. But again, getting back into your routine, right? I know a lot of times we've talked about having routines while we're working from home, but some of that routine includes people that we do business with.
yes, just having that connection. So what are some really cool things you've seen people do in that realm of marketing and advertising, or not, or something that has been able to, like that Clucker story, connect people and be really successful in like some sort of what we would call a tactic? What have
Yeah.
you seen that's been working out there?
Oh, so I will highlight Wagner's Pharmacy down by Churchill Downs, right? So typically Derby is their peak season, and they're a little diner that's been around for almost 100 years. And they have a manufacturing facility right next to them, also by the same owner, who would make jockey silks. Well, they've pivoted and made masks, and they've made very cute, creative masks. They also pivoted to do carry-out food, right? And now recently they're welcoming back all of the staff that's over at Churchill Downs and the jockeys and the trainers to come back in and do carry out orders. And I've also seen restaurants are preparing to put outside dining and tents out, right? So if the Louisville Mayor can get that passed and they can meet the criteria, they can actually serve more than 33% occupancy coming up by having outdoor dining space, right? So being creative. Also a boutique is doing appointment only, and you can bring a group of friends with you. And I thought that was fantastic. So essentially you get a private shopping session with some of your friends and shop. So just thinking, instead of opening up your store to everyone, providing that safe environment, right? She had her Clorox wipe, she had hand sanitizer. They want people to wear masks, and they're pivoting to make it such a fun experience, and they're also going to offer wine. So there's some great things you can do. I'm curious to see too, a lot of business to business customers have pivoted as well and changed what they were manufacturing. They've changed how they've done business. They've done Zoom meetings, right? They've still been able to have meetings with customers and still strategize and come up with ways to serve people in the marketplace.
So, and it's always at this point, I'm like, man, we've already talked about so many great things. Like, where do we go from here? Basic questions just don't seem like it's good enough. Okay, here's something. I got asked yesterday, who is like in the marketing realm or in business realm in general, because I'd love to know your favorite business storyteller.
Oh my gosh.
See how hard there's so many.
That's so tough to narrow down. So I don't know. I've just been on this book lately. Gosh, who would I pick? You are stumping me on that one. But I will go with this, because in this time we can feel super negative, right? Like our worlds have been turned upside down. I just finished John Gordon's book, The Energy Bus.
Oh, that's a good one.
He tells a story, right? And how we can kind of choose. So you can choose your path, right? So I think as individuals, as business owners, as community leaders, we can choose a path of positivity, and we can create a positive story out of this adversity that we've went through this year. And I think those are the people that are going to become those shining stars of the future. Those people that can take downturn, that can take loss of money, that can take loss of job and create something amazing out of it. And I think those will be our storytellers of the future.
Have you followed John Krasinski at all?
Yes, his stories are fun.
There's some good news on that. I think he has even shocked himself.
Yes.
Cool. It turned out to be. Like, you could just see his face every time something good happens right in front of him. He's like, I can't believe I'm a part of this.
Yes. And
Yeah.
his wife snuck in the last video. Did you see that where she was starting?
No, I haven't seen that.
Runs in and takes over. He's like, none of that. She was saying she is John. So, anyways, yeah, a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and there's that celebrity realm of things, but then there's also all of this. So the other aspect you brought up real quick was networking.
Yes.
Networking. So I know in our area there's a ton of opportunities with pre-COVID. You
Yeah.
could go somewhere every day and network with some sort of group. Now that's been diminished a little bit
Right.
if that group has not figured out how to adjust to the technology.
Correct.
We'll leave that there. So, but you are also part of a really, and I'm going to just say it, a really prestigious networking group that is global. I'm like, this is a set the standard of structured networking, and it is Business Networking International, also called BNI.
It is.
And aren't you like at director level now? Like what?
So actually, yes. And I've been a member of BNI for 4 years. And it really, so if I meet a customer who lives or needs referrals for their business, part of our marketing strategy is to join a networking group. And I usually recommend BNI as number one, depending on what their business is.
Right.
So yes, and we are actually relaunching the only BNI group in Southern Indiana, and I'm super excited about it. So we have some great seats open. But BNI has generated thousands of dollars for our company and has allowed me to hire 5 people. When Director of Marketing Inc. started, it was just me. I was a solopreneur, and we have grown. We've had writers to our staff. We have some great business development. We have a VP of customer experience. So yeah, BNI is a great tool. It is structured, it is rigid, but you learn how to become a better networking. And also BNI University, great resource for members, not only helps you with networking, but even being a business owner. So yeah, huge fan of BNI, I love it. So just celebrated 4 years this month.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So for those new business owners out there, or those that are like, I haven't even been out in months, how would you tell them to function with the new technology? Let's start with that one. And then how do we pace ourselves in our own reopening when we get to do it live and in person kind of thing? So technology wise, what are some key things to remember when networking?
So always, if you can have your video on, have your video on. I know the internet connection's spotty in some places, but it helps when you do see a face. I'm a big in-person person anyways, but having the video helps make that connection a little bit, and people get familiar with you, and you can see your body language. But even before you jump onto a networking event that's on Zoom or the new Google Meetups, open it up, play with it. Just like when you would teach salespeople how to kind of do their first elevator pitch or have their first conversation, you'd stand in front of a mirror and practice and look at how you look. So do a video by yourself, get familiar with it, play with it, and then join in and just relax, have fun with it. Don't put so much pressure on it. If you screw up what you're saying, or your cat jumps up behind of you, your kids are running behind you, it's okay.
I think that's kind of anticipated with the whole, the environment. Actually, I think I've been a part of a couple of groups that we've been asking, like, where's the kid or where's the cat today? Like, it's some part of what we expect to see in the background. Like, we miss it if we don't see that cat doing its thing behind you. Like, I don't understand. Where's the cat?
Yeah. Wouldn't even pivot. So I'm not even in my office. I work from home normally, but my office is upstairs. I have 2 sleeping people upstairs right now. So they would kill me if they could hear me talking on a Zoom call. I would have to pivot down to the dining room.
Well, it's a beautiful area. So when we get back to live and in person, what are some things that you look at people and like, yeah, don't do that. Like, what are some things to stay away from?
We're not going to be able to hug. Can't handshake, so we're going to have to practice that foot bump or that elbow bump. And I think too, going forward, I think we personally need to be cognizant of how the other person's feeling. Like, and so I will be asking, if you have any health concerns, would you like me to wear a mask also? Right? So we want to be accommodating. We want to make people feel comfortable. So let's think and keep that in mind. I cannot wait for coffee houses like Coffee Crossing and Heine Brothers to open though, and to sit across the table from someone is going to be so fun. But if my person wants to have a mask on, I want to honor them in that too. I want whoever I'm meeting with to feel comfortable and feel good about being out.
And I honestly, I love the way you phrase that, because I have anxiety issues when I have a mask on. Like my fight or flight kicks in, and I am not a nice person. And I've been telling everybody ahead of time. So it's not that I don't have any freedom issues about wearing a mask. It's a matter of, it's not safe for you if I wear a mask. Either way we go with this. So, but I love the way that you phrase that. I'm going to honor you by wearing the mask. Like I'm showing consideration for you, and asking ahead of time, I think, is a big deal. Like, what makes you comfortable here? That is pretty powerful right in and of itself, because, then you're taking the time to treat them as a person across the table, instead of somebody that feels like they maybe run through like another cattle in the herd kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, and is there an outdoor option? I told people I'm going to open up my patio for meetings and we can sit 6 feet apart. They can just drive up, park in front, walk around to the back.
That's brilliant.
Even our coffee houses have outdoor spaces a lot of time, right? So then we can get their level. Do you prefer outdoor or indoor? Or restaurants that open up with outdoor spaces, can we do that? Would you like me to carry my own Clorox wipes and wipe your spot down? I'm happy to do whatever.
You may have a thing there, Amy. Have your big old purse and that big old here.
Rip it out, wipe it up.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So who are some people that you have admired over the years as business mentors, if you will?
Yeah, absolutely. So my favorite boss was Mark Osborne of Federated Media. He was our director of sales back when I was a salesperson, and actually helped me grow from a local sales manager to a general sales manager, and always had great advice. One of the favorite things about him, if you were having a bad day, he'd call it Pink Fuzzy Slipper Day and pretty much tell you to go home. So you weren't stinking up the atmosphere. So I always admired him and his work ethic, and his care for employees always came out. Also, Leanne Brown Didier, she was my sales manager as well, starting out, and they help you grow as a person. They offered great training, great sales training, great customer service focus. So I really appreciated that. So those two folks come to mind. And just Dale Carnegie, Zig Ziglar, just those I just love the two of them. And I was fortunate to see Zig Ziglar many times at conferences, and it was amazing.
Oh, did he do the knee move?
Oh, yes. Yeah. And that material, their books never grow old, right?
Exactly.
So, and I actually went back to Dale Carnegie training 2 years ago. I did it 20 years ago, but I'm like, I'm going to go back again. And it was so worth it, because we just forget, again, sometimes some of the basics of helping others.
And one of my favorites is Jim Rohn.
Yes, Jim is great.
Oh, I'm in training and development as well. And just to have somebody in front of me remind me of all of the common sense basic things of life, I'm like, oh, it's so brilliant, because it's so simple.
Things, right? Our mind gets spinning. We have all these things in our head that sometimes just put barriers up, and we're like, oh, that's all we needed to do.
Just pull it back. It's all good. And I honestly, I get super pumped whenever I get to be that person for somebody else, just to help them, take a deep breath a little bit. So you've already expressed a little bit about that sales training. How important is training as a, okay.
It's vital. It is vital, and you should invest in your people. Absolutely. And I'm a big believer of training and I've chosen organizations based on their training opportunities, as crazy as that may sound. And I can tell a difference between those who invest in their people and those who don't. Even with customers, I ask them about their training programs and are they willing to invest in their people? Because as a marketer, yeah, we could bring opportunities to the table, but if their team can't care for that customer, then they're throwing money out the window both ways, right? So I want people that want to help their people grow and help them. And do you remember seeing Ryan Estes like last year with Chase Bank?
Yes.
He has that specific store he goes to because they custom tailor his shopping experience, right? Those people invest in their people. They deliver an amazing customer experience because that owner of that shop invest in training in their people. And that training can be for any type of business, from your restaurants to your boutiques, to your manufacturing facility, to anything in between, right? Train your people. And you've done some great training for companies I've worked for in the past, Christy.
So, and I'm glad that you also brought up, how did you phrase it? Oh, marketing can bring in all the leads, but if your people can't handle it, I mean, it becomes that you may have this influx, but you don't have the infrastructure to handle what marketing can really do for you.
Right.
Right. So marketing is amazing. One of the reasons I'm still in it is because I love to protect small business from bad decisions.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's so much of that out there too. But the great marketing that works brings in the business that you may not be able to handle. So like you got to make sure you've got, as a business owner, have systems in place, but this is also why, as a business owner, it helps to have a director of marketing on your side to do that piece of it so that you can concentrate on putting the pieces together to be ready for all the business that's coming in.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of times we see that people do need sales training, right? So we look for those partners that we think would be a good match for that person, then we hand it off. And just like being vendor neutral, we want to direct the best opportunities for our customers. But we see gaping holes sometimes in their systems. I was working with someone that their CRM system was an Excel spreadsheet. And they were going to trade shows and not even gathering information from the trade show. I'm like, why are you paying for the trade show? Like, you're literally throwing money away. You're not only the time that it took for you to set up the booth, man the booth, but get paid to have that booth space. And even setting up their booth was not very customer friendly, right? So we try to look at all those angles and then help them develop systems through other partnerships so that they can capitalize on that expenditure.
You see, I have this face of, what were they thinking? Oh, well, that's right. They don't know. So they don't know things through like that, like all the way to gather the information to keep having a relationship with these people.
Well, and as a business owner, think about all the things that run through your head at night, right? Sometimes it's payroll. Oh, I have taxes due. Oh, by the way, I've purchased software. Oh, when is that bill coming out of the account? You have so many other things on your mind as a business owner already. Employee issues, I run into that with customers, turnover issues. So how do we step in and help take some of the burden off their plate so they don't have to worry, oh crap, I didn't put that post on Facebook today. Now a month has passed and I've not done it. How do we take some of those marketing tasks off their to-do list and help them share their story without them worrying about it?
Well, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, consistency is key.
Yes, consistency and key in protecting your brand.
Oh, let's talk about that a little bit. What do you mean by protecting your brand, Amy?
So what are you known for? And then kind of sticking with it. I see, and some companies try to be everything to everybody, and that just doesn't work. Typically, you don't need 1 million customers to be successful. You might only need a few hundred. You might only need 1,000, right? So speak to who your target is and know who your target is. Speak their language and protect your brand. Don't try to be everything to everybody. Don't send out conflicting messages about what you do and who you are. And that sometimes happens. The other thing I would say for protecting your brand too is have part of your personality be in that, and your business has a personality, but also don't be aggressive and out trying to offend people either. So pick and choose your battles.
Yeah, there's special brands for that.
Create your own private group for that, right?
Right.
That's the main thing.
So on the gosh, we go so fast. My mind is already like, stop for a second. So protect your brand, be consistent. We talk about how did you say it? Protect your brand, be consistent. I totally lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
I did this with another person too, and I'm like, you saw that, right? It just totally derailed. At some point, I'll be able to come back to it because it comes back to that center point. But so the protecting the brand, being out there. Oh, target audience. That's where I wanted to go. See, it came right back. So if somebody says to you, they introduce themselves and their business, and you're asking, well, why? You're asking for their why.
Yes.
And they say, because I love to help people.
Yeah, most people do. Most people want to help other people, right?
Right.
How do you help other people?
Who do you help?
Who do you help? And why do they choose you, right? And it's amazing. And obviously, I'm guilty of this as well, right? Sometimes as the business owner, we lose sight of what we're doing. We're just trying to get through the day-to-day, right? Checklist, task list done. But knowing who your target is, having conversations that benefit them, you can help them by knowing them better, right? And many people use the term buyer persona. But what does that person look like? And then target your message. And the other thing too, I see that business owners do, and they're losing out on opportunities, is not having the business page set up on Facebook or LinkedIn. They lose that analytical data. To me, it's important to know, when are my customers engaging the most on Facebook? So why would I not put my post there, right? Do I do a boost versus an ad, right? Those are things you can do when you have a business page versus just having that personal profile. And this morning, I had a connection request on LinkedIn, and I told the gentleman, I'm sorry, I don't know what your name is, because it looks like your business is a personal profile. People don't necessarily build relationships with a business, they build relationships with the people at that business. And behind every Facebook business and LinkedIn business page is a person that owns that business. And that's who we want to build relationships with. And you want to have relationship with your customer. So you have to know your customer.
So how deep do you go to build your target audience definition? I mean, I usually tell people, you want to be able to have refrigerator rights with these people. Like, you want to be close enough to know what's in the fridge. But how would you tell people to really hone in that target audience?
A great place to start is talk with your current customers. Why did they choose you, and how have you helped them, right? Get an idea. And then also, if you see a need in the marketplace, ask your friends and family, hey, do you think this need is important, or is it something I'm just kind of latched onto? I love SurveyMonkey, right? That's another great tool to get some information. Also, a company called Rads. I don't know if you're familiar with Matt, but he can even test out like your Facebook posts and ads, images, and graphics, and get just maybe 1,000 people to view it and give you feedback as well, right? So market test some of your ideas and some of your things. But consumers typically like to get feedback, right? They leave Google reviews. Are you reading your Google reviews? Are you responding, whether they're positive or bad, right? So those are things you can do. We are so fortunate to live in a time today where our consumers are giving us feedback whether we want it or not.
Right. Yes, we're very fortunate.
Use it, right? It's no longer wondering. You don't have to wonder back in your office, hey, I wonder what my customers think of me, right? They're putting that information out there. And if you want more in-depth information, find your biggest customer, ask them, ask your repeat customers why they keep coming back. And you can kind of hone in on some of that too.
Yeah. And honestly, what you just talked about is what helped me get my business defined a lot better than I had when I first started, because I do offer so many seemingly different types of services. So I have like marketing and training and development and coaching. And so it just seems like I do everything, but actually I start with strategy. And that was the common thread of, if we didn't sit down and figure out what I needed to figure out or where I was going with things, we would never have gotten there. And
right.
So that's the first step. From there, the services are just whatever we need to do for it. So strategy, and then I fuel it. And having that shift, because I've learned from my current client set so much about their experience with me, it helped me define my message more.
Yes.
Yes.
And it allows you to pivot and serve your customers your best, right?
Yes.
We stay strictly in the marketing field. And I even tell customers sometimes, if your person's only talking about digital, you're missing out other opportunities. Direct mail can still be a great campaign. And I love it tied with IP targeting. I love it tied with geofencing, right? You really want to make an impact. You can blend traditional and digital advertising. I still love radio. Radio still gets results. I still love billboards, right? There's a lot of things you can do. And then even the new stuff like the reputation management, it's so important, especially for business to consumers. You need to have an eye on your reputation.
And that goes back to the reviews and the feedback.
Absolutely.
Who's saying what and how's it being used, and
Yeah, and there's so many great tools out there now for business owners to use, and they can sign on with us and do it themselves and get some coaching on marketing activities, or we can handle it fully for them. It's whatever their choice is, and we try to be very flexible, and everything's customized for each of their individual needs.
It's definitely, I love your model because it's not a traditional full service agency that you think of when you watch like Mad Men. It's not that anymore. And so what you guys offer and how you put it together is it truly is customizable right down to the detail. Like if you need a specific type of campaign that's fully integrated from you talking at a network event to direct mail to the IP targeting to the website to the whatever, like it's threaded through so that it's fully integrated and it makes sense for every touch point that somebody may come in at. And that's what people need help with. But it's not a huge agency price. Like you're not giving them something they don't need along with the thing that they want to do right now.
Right, absolutely. Essentially, we're become their extended marketing department.
Yes.
And I'm treated by customers like an employee at times, although they're excited to get an invoice that they can write off at the end of the year with their accountant. They don't have to pay the payroll taxes.
That's always a benefit.
Yes. They appreciate that. And I love interaction with customers. And sometimes we're talking to them weekly and other times it's once or twice a month. But we are engaged and involved, and we want to make sure that they feel that they're getting the most out of their marketing activities. And also, like you do, prevent them from making a bad media buy decision.
Yeah.
That penny package with the suite that has 20 radio spots, probably not the best investment of your money. But buy the tickets, and then let's use radio on a long-term campaign to get results. Yeah. And I know my radio friends are cringing right now that I said that, but it's true.
There's all kinds of ways, all kinds of methods. I've also met with them, the Spectrum Reach people. Yes. They have a ton of different opportunities now that they can either have huge packages or small ones.
Yes. I was trying so hard to get one of my customers on live PD and we missed the boat.
Oh man.
I know, it's right up their alley. It would have been the perfect fit, right? Yeah, Spectrum Reach has great programs. And they now, DirecTV and Dish is thrown into that. So you can really dominate the market. And even traditional TV, your local WDRB and your LKY, those are great tools as well, but you have to have a plan. You can't just throw money out. You can't try something. You've got to plan and put it together and have it go fluid through all of your activities, not just hit and miss here and there.
And that's why, honestly, people need help. If this is not your realm of expertise, find somebody who's professional in it, like you, like me. Like this is what we are here for, is to help in those situations to make it streamlined, strategic, and effective.
Yes.
And that was
save money.
And save money.
Save money.
We need to be writing this down. That sounds really good. So, okay, we're coming to the end of our podcast session today. Do you have any last tidbits of success advice for business owners in general? What would be your biggest hint of success?
If it's something you don't like to do, delegate it to someone else. First, that's my first bit of advice. When it comes to social media marketing, put a little plan together, come up with an idea calendar, and then look at like national holidays and different things that can kind of funnel into your business. Don't be selling at every message, but share your personality, highlight your employees, share their stories, and share your customer story. Highlight your customers if you can. Tag other people in it. Create conversations that are meaningful, and just have fun and be consistent.
Thank you so much. We've talked about so many different things today. I very much appreciate this conversation because it's just fun. Well, for us anyway.
I know. We can do this every week, Christy. Not recorded, of course, but hang out and chat.
This is how we are on a normal basis, everybody. This is how it is.
Yeah. We'll prove it to you guys if you ever want to have coffee.
Right. You can just sit back and watch. It's all good.
We'll include them. Awesome. Thank you, Christy.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Amy, very much for joining us today on Small Business Small Talk. And thank you to everybody else who has joined in to listen or watch us on YouTube. And remember, you can always ask Alexa or Google to, hey, play the latest episode of Small Business Small Talk. And what do you know? It'll pop up and play for you. And I'm getting Alexa and Alexis mixed up because I keep watching Schitt's Creek on Netflix. So I apologize to Alexa and Alexis, but there you go. So thank you for joining us today on Small Business Small Talk. Catch us again for the next episode for season 1 in 2020. Thanks, guys.